Welcome to Focus on the Five, conversations with Baldwin County business leaders and entrepreneurs, brought to you by Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. And now, Josh Knoll.
Hi everyone, welcome to Focus on the Five, conversations with Baldwin County, Alabama area entrepreneurs and business leaders. I am your host, Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. We're coming to you today from the studios of WABF 1480, located in beautiful downtown Fairhope, Alabama, on finally a beautiful weather day after so long. Today I have with me not only a local entrepreneur, but someone that took me under their wing when I moved down to this area several years ago. He and his wife Elizabeth both becoming great friends along the way. Many would call the business he has a dream job. I happen to think it's a perfect match of ability, personality, and opportunity. So that said, let's give a big welcome to our guest today, Mr. Russell Atkinson, the owner of Freedom Boat Club, Gulf Coast. Russell, how are you doing?
Man, I'm great. All right. I appreciate that.
Oh, hey, man, I'm so excited.
Roaring applause there. That's awesome. Appreciate that.
Well, usually you have to wait till the crowd quiets down.
Yes, no
anytime
doubt.
you get announced.
No doubt.
Right. So, all right, you and I have a lot to talk about, and we could probably do a show just talking about our love of boats. But we come here for a particular reason. We want to talk about your business. So let's talk about, for those out there that don't know what Freedom Boat Club is, what is Freedom Boat Club?
It's interesting. We've been around since 1989, and the boat club model is still new to a lot of people, and it's amazing to me that the word hasn't gotten out. But it is a shared economy of boats.
All right.
So just kind of like the Grand down the road here in Fairhope, it's a country club for boaters. Instead of golfers, instead of going out and getting a tee time, you get a reservation to get a day on the water on any type of boat that we have available. I'll use a personal story. When we moved down here, my wife and I, we moved down, we were used to boating up in Mississippi on a river in a lake, and totally different type of boating than down here. So I knew I wanted to get back into boating. So I looked for a center console boat, and when I took my wife, she was okay with that, but rather have a pontoon boat, right?
Okay.
So I was familiar with Freedom Boat Club because it's a franchise. It's been around for, like I said, since 1989, and I was aware of it up in Lake Lanier in Georgia, just north of Atlanta. And so I almost joined when I was over there. I just lived too far away from it at the time. So with Freedom Boat Club, we run deck boats. We have cobias, center console fishing boats, single engine and twin engines as well, and we have some pontoon boats. So it helped us not have to pick one type of boat, because I might want to go fishing one day, but my wife would rather cruise around and maybe get a bushwhacker for Pirates Cove or something like that on a pontoon and pile the family on. So it was a great fit for us. So yeah, we have a fleet of boats that kind of fit whatever needs you need for the water that day.
Well, all right, let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you and I were kids, and some of the listeners are going to know this, there was a commercial that used to come on, and this guy would go on detail about this electric shaver, a Remington electric shaver, and he would say that, well, I like the company so much, I bought it.
It's exactly what happened with me. I don't use that example all the time. I use the...
well, you will now.
the Bosley Hair Club for Men.
Is the same one, which might be my next business I have to invest in, to tell you the truth. So I was a member for six years down here in the Gulf Coast, and just loved it so much. It was... everybody loves boating, and you've heard this saying before: the best day of a boat owner's life is the day he buys it,
right?
And then the next day is when
he sells it.
And that's because the day you buy that boat, you're so excited about boating,
right?
But you're not thinking about the cleaning, the maintenance, the towing, the fees, the insurance, the sea tow, and all the things that happen with that boat. Right. You're thinking about being on the boat.
That's right.
And so your next happiest day is the day you sell it. But if you didn't have to worry about all those things in between, then every day being on the boat is awesome. Right. And so we do all those things that are headaches and hassles for people. So I loved it for me and for my family, and really that's the reason why I bought it, was for me and my family. Our lives are so hectic today, and I know you have 3 kids and you're always running around chasing everybody.
My hair's on fire all the time.
Yeah, and so every time I'm around them, my kids are on devices, iPads or iPhones or whatever, Right. And this is the one time my family unplugs from everything and reconnects together, right? Whether we're on a pontoon boat or we're going out fishing or we're tubing or whatever, it's a time for us. And so when I was looking for something new to do, I was in a similar line of work as you,
yes,
Josh.
You were. You escaped.
I did. I found putting people on the water on a boat with their family was more fun than filling out IRAs.
How could I don't? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
Easy call.
yeah, it was great for me. So yeah, you said it when you first started. It has been a dream job for me, and I love being able to share that experience with other families.
Well, let's compare and contrast you and I's boating experiences. So I have always owned, shall we say, gently used boats, right?
Right.
Poop Deck Millennium, may it live forever.
We could always spot Josh from the smoke going down Orange Beach. True story.
Hey, that little 25 horse didn't produce that much smoke.
It was awesome.
Or that much power.
We easily caught up to you as well.
that thing, Armageddon will come, and that boat will still be running somewhere.
That's true.
in the United States. But so compare and contrast. We have always owned gently used boats is a fun way to put it. I've had every variety of fixer-upper boat you can imagine, and to be fair, I've had a lot of things I've had to do maintenance-wise. I mean, I could give you a litany of things that I have repaired on the handful of boats I've had over my years, and the amount of money I've spent, I would have. Well, let's compare it. How much money have you spent? And you've been a member now for 6 years, and now you're an owner of the company. How much money have you spent on maintenance, repairs in the last 6 years?
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, it is boat. You enjoy all the boat ownership, the fun of owning it without the cost of it. So I don't spend anything. And if one of their boats is broken down for some reason or in maintenance or in shop, they'll put you on a different boat. So I used to own a boat as well. And I remember multiple times having people come over. We had planned the day.
Yes.
Everybody was going on the water. You get that boat to the launch and something doesn't work.
Right.
Well, you've ruined your day.
Right.
The other 3 couples that you have out there as well. And then you got to haul that thing back.
Or even worse, you get it out in the water and it quits running.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been pulled in a few times.
Yeah. And another thing, and you'll hear me say this all the time, another great thing, there's so many great things about Freedom Boat Club, and one of those things is you could go buy a similar boat to us, and you couldn't pay the same amount for the dues that you would to own that boat. But
the payment would be
more. Actually, let me just
on
put it
that
this way.
level of boat. The payment would be a lot more.
We have 9 locations, and every single one of our 9 locations, it would cost you more to store that boat, just the storage fees, than it would for monthly fees for you to join.
Wow.
So we're just talking about one aspect of it,
Right.
not the ownership or anything else. So, but the great thing about that is you don't have to do any of that, right? We do all that for you. I see more families getting arguments at Boggy Point, trailing that boat, trying to.
It's stressful.
Oh, it's stressful.
And you can't find anywhere to park.
Oh my goodness! And people look at you like you're an idiot if you have trouble backing that trailer in or whatever else. And I mean, wives and husbands, we save marriages. I tell people all the time, right? You don't have to argue with one another trying to get that boat on a trailer.
Right.
All you do is show up at one of our 9 locations, and the boat is waiting for you. Our staff will come to your car, get whatever you have provisions that day, whether it's a cooler or food or beach balls, whatever. They help you load up that, and all you do is you check out.
Right.
And when you come back, we help you load that back in the car, and you're gone. So your boating experience is when you get off the water in Orange Beach, because that's where you boat.
Right.
And me too. Right. Mm-hmm. When you get off that, I can call you because I'm sitting at Playa having a cocktail while you're washing a boat.
That's right.
Right. Actually, I'm sitting there while you're trailering the boat back home, and then when you're washing it, I'm already putting my kids to bed.
Well, plus you're getting in the water when I'm driving around, trying to find parking in Publix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean all that mess that's down there.
Oh,
I mean,
it's a nightmare.
Right.
So it is really boating made simple. It is, like I said, all the fun of boating without any of the headaches.
without all the hassle.
Oh, it's awesome.
Well, and all right, so I want to go back to a previous point you had too about the style of boat. So
Yep.
as many people or people that kind of pay attention to what we do realize we moved down from Missouri. So in Missouri you have rivers, you have lakes, right? But what you don't have is a lot of deep water, and you don't have a lot of center consoles. So when we moved down here, we didn't know, I mean, I knew what a center console was. I mean, where I'm from, a center console would have been used for old fishing boat, right?
Right.
So getting down here, I think that for somebody that comes to the area, maybe not familiar with the waters around here, what better way, I mean, what all style, you mentioned earlier, let's go through the style of boats again so for people that maybe not familiar with boats.
Well, I want to go through that, and I also want to talk to you about our training, so make sure I don't skip over that.
You won't.
So we do offer 3 types of boats, and they're all the way from 18 foot to 30 foot that we have. We have center consoles, and we run cobias right now. We're looking at some other manufacturers to bring in as well.
And you're used to it, just so the people know, Cobia is a nice brand.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
solid boat, and
right.
and we love them because they're very versatile. Especially down here, you can pretty much do anything that
right.
you want in that boat. Whether you're taking the kids tubing, or if you want to run out and go 8-10 miles out and go snapper fishing,
right.
it's a good boat for you, right? And we have with the Cobias, they're 22 foot. We have a couple 26, and we also have a 28 foot
wow.
Cobias as well. So we have different types of boats for different folks. We have pontoon boats, and they're all run by 4-stroke Yamaha, so quiet as can be. And those are normally 20 to 22 foot, the pontoon boats.
Okay.
And then we run deck boats, which are a little different. It's kind of a hybrid between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, that's actually my wife's favorite boat is the Hurricane as well, because it's got a great layout for lounging around, but it's got a 150 on the back, so you
It'll
can
get somewhere.
Oh yeah. So it's
and it's not going to rock as much as a pontoon boat. Pontoon boats nowadays can go pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
But if you've ever been in a pontoon boat doing 50 or 60, I mean, there's a little bit of rocking going on.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And what you said is so important, because I will tell you, being down here, I had a conversation with a guy the other day who was concerned about our members, which is funny because he said, well, I just don't want people that aren't familiar with the waterways and aren't educated in boating on the water, because he thinks of us as a rental club, which we're not.
Right.
I mean, totally different. When you join with us, you go out for a full day of training. Half of that day is in classroom, and then half of that is actually behind the wheel.
Right.
And depending on what kind of level member you are, there might be a half a day of twin engine training or offshore training. And we not only get you familiar with the boat, with the rules, with the regulations, but also with the area. I mean, Orange Beach, there are a lot of shallow areas you need to stay away from that you can get in
looks
trouble.
50 foot deep.
Oh, yeah.
It ain't 2 foot deep.
Right.
Right.
And so, what's crazy about that is people say, well, I'll just go get my own boat. Well, you go buy an $80,000 boat and run it in areas you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
That is a sure way to get real upset real fast.
Yes, that's a great way to ruin a lower unit and all kinds of things.
Yeah. So the education of our members is one thing that I think is a value that, you know, if you bought another boat, all they're going to do is wave as you pull that thing away. They don't care if you know how to do that.
Right.
We're going to spend time with you, and that training's unlimited as you go. If you feel like you ever need any more, we have a licensed captain that will take you out.
That's fantastic, because, I mean, you have people come into the area that have literally never stood up and driven a boat before.
Absolutely. And so we're going to hand them sometimes a 6-figure, cost of a boat. We want to make sure that they know what they're doing and they feel safe and confident behind the wheel when they're out there with that.
That's perfect.
So
plus with currents and, like you said, the sandbars and all that stuff, it's a different boating experience.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And we'll help them from everything from docking to beaching a boat, how to tie up, and read charts. I mean, it's a very thorough. It's not something that we take lightly. It's very important.
And so you can bring somebody, basically you literally can take someone that has never driven a boat, because as you know, when you grow up with boats, you try not to, but sometimes you take things for granted. You just assume everybody knows how to drive a boat.
Oh, absolutely.
You assume everybody knows how to back up a trailer, things like that. It's not true. And a lot of times people are uncomfortable admitting those things, which you got to realize. You and I were, the first time I pulled a trailer, I knocked over, a drive-through sign, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Right. So the point being is you can take that person from ground zero and get them brought up to speed, and also take them further down the road. Plus, you can have somebody maybe like you or I that has a lot of our own experience come in and run through on the particulars of the boat, but we know how to drive a center console. We know things like that, right?
Absolutely. And going more into that depth of that the training, we personally own 9 locations across the Gulf Coast. So if you actually come from Orange Beach and want to travel to Biloxi or Madisonville, Louisiana, or Destin, we have locations in all those areas. And in each one of those, the waterway is a little bit different.
Right.
So if you want to get out with a licensed captain, we'll put you on the water so you feel safe in that environment as well. But not only do you get use of my 9 locations, there's 175 across the U.S., actually in Europe and Canada as well. So you can go get a boat wherever you are. You get four times. It's called a reciprocal agreement.
Okay.
That let's say, like I said, Atlanta, Georgia. There's 2 locations in Lake Lanier. I get 8 reservations for each of those per year.
Okay.
So if I take my family up for a vacation, wherever that might be, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Hilton Head, Boston, I can jump on a boat and explore that area by water. Which
Can
is,
you really? You do that 4 times a year?
4 times
plus
at each location.
At each location.
So it's not just
right.
4 reservations.
Okay.
So so like I'm going out to Houston, Texas, and we will get on a boat when we're out there with my family.
All right, so
Absolutely.
I want to let's break for station identification. Then I want to dive right back in the type of memberships you have.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so for those of you just joining us here on WABF 1480 AM, this is Focus on the Five, Conversations with Baldwin County, Alabama area entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm your host, Josh Knoll, and I'm joined today by Russell Atkinson, the owner of Freedom Boat Club, Gulf Coast. All right, Russell, let's talk about first, what kind of membership packages do you have in general? I know we don't want to go too many rabbit holes. And then how does someone join?
Absolutely, easy. And we try to make everything easy, from the joining all the way to the uses of the boat. So we have 3 different packages that people use, and one's called the economy, and that is for $239 a month. It's 320 days of unlimited boating, right? And I say that because that is mostly used by some of our snowbirds that come down, or people that are retired. I hear all the time. Just yesterday, a guy told me, I do not want to be on the water on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday during the peak season because it's too crazy.
If you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that is for them. We exclude Friday and Saturday and Sunday from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Okay.
Right? But they have 320 other days that they can use unlimited boating.
Right.
And that's uses of our 18 to 24-foot boats.
Okay.
And then we have a standard membership, which is 365, that covers those same boats. And so there's unlimited uses for those in all 9 of our locations.
Okay.
And we have another package above that called economy, and that includes our twin engines and anything over 24 foot.
What's the top one called?
It's called concierge.
Concierge.
Yeah,
Got
sorry
it.
about
Okay.
that.
That's right.
Yeah, so the concierge includes our twin engine offshore boats.
All right.
And we get people that run those out, and they actually go to blue water and try to get some of the big fish there.
Right.
So once again, there's really a package for anybody, and everybody's boating needs are different, right? So we have something for anybody.
Can they change their membership year to year?
Absolutely, they can go up and down from that membership.
Okay.
There's some rules behind that, which I don't know if this is the forum for that, but
Right.
yes, they have to
Well,
stay
somebody
there
comes
for a certain
down and
time.
they do the economy for 6 months and they love it, and they
Right.
say, "Hey, Russell, man, we're ready to move up to the standard
Absolutely.
package."
Yep.
Okay.
There's always a way for them to jump up from package, or even go down from a package.
Right.
And we have that happen all the time.
Perfect. Okay. Well, how does someone joins? How do people typically find you when they join?
Well, I'll tell you the best place to find us is at freedomgulfcoast.com,
Okay.
or you can go to freedomboatclub.com. But you can also call our main number, which I'm ashamed I'm going to have to look this up. Is that terrible? I've got so many different clubs.
We circle back around.
They have different numbers. No, it's no big deal. I'll find this for you. But if you call our main number, it also has prompts that you can go to any of our locations. We have sales or directors of membership sales in each of our locations, so it will give you prompts for you to go there. But if you just call 850-497-0130, that will take you there. That number, once again, is 850-497-0130.
Keep that handy at the end of the show. We'll run over all your contact info again.
I'm going to write it down so I don't have to look that
Right,
again.
Yes. Okay. So, and I want to circle back to overall general description of the cost, because again, not that you and I are old, but we are old enough that when we were younger, boats were not that expensive. I mean, relatively speaking. I mean, you could go out and buy a pretty loaded up, nice boat for 20 grand or less.
Right.
Go to Bass Pro right now.
Not anymore.
And walk out front and
Yeah.
look what the pontoon boats alone are 60, 70, 80 grand.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. And when you actually buy that luxury purchase, you're going to put down 20%.
Right.
Right? With us, it's much less than 20% for the initial fee to join.
Right.
And then the ongoing fees are so much lower than, like I said, even the storage of the boat of that size. And considering that we take care of all the insurance, we have a $3 million liability for our members that covers each one of them. And we also take care of sea tow up to 25 miles out.
That's a huge thing.
Oh, it is. I mean, these things add up on top of the water
they do.
pumps and everything else, the batteries and everything that could go wrong. It's just it is really boating at a fraction of the cost of ownership.
Well, I mean, I can tell you just from personal experience in Missouri waterways, you change a water pump out. I mean, man, every 10 years maybe.
Oh yeah.
I came down here and they were telling me, hey, you need to change that thing out every year, maybe every other year. And I thought,
The
what are you
difference
trying-
is salt water, my
Oh,
friend.
good grief.
Until we can figure out a way for electronics and metal components to generate or to live cohesively with salt water, it's always going to be expensive to own boats down here. It will always be expensive.
And so the point being is, you got this brand new, twin engine Cobia boat that you paid a pretty penny for.
Oh yeah.
Just check out the water pump swap out on that alone.
Oh yeah, with the electronics. So our fishing boats also have electronics on them, Garmin, GPS,
Nice.
and fish finders. Our twin engine actually has dual consoles. So so it's actually got 2 screens, touch screens. You just talk about the electronics on that thing. I mean, you'll spend less on the joining fee than you would on buying the electronics on that one boat.
Oh, it's no doubt.
Oh,
No
yeah,
doubt
it's
about
crazy.
It. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, Jen's all over me to do this. So.
Well, I'm kind of looking at you like you might be a moron if you don't. But as a matter of fact, just so you know.
There are some things a Missouri boy is hard to let go of, and that's my old two-stroke smoking up the waterways.
I understand, but I think if you give us a try, you'll be parting with that soon.
I've never been mosquito bitten out there. I wonder why that is.
I know. Your fumigation system. And one thing, that's something to say. All the time I have friends that go out and buy these boats, and in 5 years they have a 5-year-old boat that's depreciated.
Yeah.
And if my members every year, right now we got 9 new boats that are coming in in the next 2 weeks. Right. So every year our members on new boats. Our oldest boat in fleet is 3 years old.
Right. Well, and I think you're seeing an overall trend, just in general, of people understanding that if you're buying a brand new boat or a newer boat, a nice boat, you're basically writing a monster check for depreciation right out the gate.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So if you're going to go down that road, it's kind of like leasing cars to a certain degree. You might as well just factor in the depreciation without the headache.
Oh yeah.
That's the big difference.
Oh yeah.
So what you're giving me is basically the depreciation expense, about what it would be, but I don't have to worry about the water pumps and the lower units and winterizing it and all that stuff that can go wrong. Whatever can go wrong with the boat, brother, I've had it, and I'm probably not the only person that way.
Yeah, and and people always talk about owning versus the boat club, right?
Right.
I don't know of a bank in America that if you bought let's say the cobia that I have in the water, that if something happened, you needed to walk away from that that they would just say, "Hey, I'm sorry,
sure.
I'm sorry that you got transferred or whatever." There is no contract with us; it's just an agreement. As long as you're paying those monthly dues, you have access to our boats. You can also put that on hold and hold it for as long as up to 12 months, right?
Okay.
So if something happened in your life, whether it's a surgery or financial issues, you can always put that on hold and come back to it without paying an initiation fee. That's totally different than going to your bank. I mean, go up here to Regions and say, "Hey, I want to stop paying my my boat note for about 6 months," and just see how that goes over for you.
And they'll bring out a calculator and say, your boat's worth about 1/4 of what you paid for it 5
Absolutely,
years ago.
yeah.
But you still owe 3/4 on it.
We look pretty good after that conversation.
Oh, I bet it's easy enough to do it on paper. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so I know you've got a couple events coming up where people can have opportunity to actually meet you at some of them.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
get a feel for Freedom Boat Club.
Yeah,
you want to list those out?
Yeah, we have a few things that are going on right now. This coming weekend, which is the 15th, 16th, 17th, we're down in Panama City, which might be a little far for some of the people that we're talking to here. But the Emerald Coast Boating Club will be down there. Okay. And so we have a booth there. So Rob Gordon is our sales membership director down there. Matt Mueller is our director of operations down there. Those guys will be there. I will go one of those days. I don't know that I'm making that trip 3 days in a row. Right. But we also have the boat show at the wharf that's coming up at the end of this month. It is the 29th, 30th, and 31st. That same time, they have the Alberta Sausage Festival over in Alberta, and we'll have a booth at both of those, and we'll have representatives that will be there. I will definitely be at the Orange Beach Wharf.
And I can tell you, Alberta Sausage Festival, go see you, go to have a good time. I mean, that's a great event.
Both of those, I mean, I got to tell you, if you're not taking advantage of those two events that weekend, you're really missing out. I mean, there's a lot of fun things to do. You meet a lot of great people, and also support a lot of local businesses, which is awesome.
Okay. Any other events coming up? Any other boat shows? Or
we are always having an event at all of our marinas. So come down. We're doing something. We're always entertaining somebody. So either at Playa or the Tiki Bar in Orange Beach, come down. We have member socials all the time.
Well, okay. So, and also I want to reiterate that point you made earlier, especially again for some folks that are listening and not from the area, storing the boat. Describe in Orange Beach. Describe the access that someone has when they have a membership. Walk a person through. They load the family up, they got some friends meeting them, and they drive down to Orange Beach to your marina. Go from there. What
Absolutely.
happens?
So you pull into Sportsman's Marina where we're located, and if you're coming down at lunch, you can eat right there at Playa, which has got a great lunch special, or the Tiki Bar. All you have to do is tell one of our dock hands that you're there. They will load up everything. They will check you out just to know that you're out on the water, find out about what time you're planning on coming back, and then you head off. Once you're done, you come back, hand the key to them. They check you out, and you are good to go. There is nothing more to it. You don't even have to fuel up that boat. We'll do
don't
it
have
for
to
you.
don't have to put gas in it. Nothing.
Yep, you'll pay for the gas, and you pay for the gas, but we do all that for you. I mean, it is absolutely hassle free.
Well, and if you're from this area or you went out on a boat, you know that during the busy season, you said come down at lunch. If you come down at lunch to launch your own boat during the busy season,
Not a chance.
not a chance.
Yeah.
It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, I've talked to you many times when you're going down. You're like, we got to get down there early.
I'm heading down at 6:30.
I've never had that problem. I've never had that problem.
Yeah, it must
right?
be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go down there, and I go out early,
Yeah.
and then I go park, and I
Right.
just wait.
And so that's one of the things is, I can keep a boat out for 2 hours if I decide I just want to go out for
Right.
a sunset cruise, or I can go out all day, right? And so I don't have to worry about all that. My biggest headache is make sure my kids are covered in sunscreen.
Right. Well, it gives you that flexibility because when you are trailering your own boat, especially with as popular as the waterways are down here, you're not going to go out for a couple hours, generally speaking.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to make an event of it, right?
Oh.
But there are times where you get cut out early on Friday afternoon. It would be nice just to walk onto the dock, hop in the boat, and you're gone.
Oh yeah, and try it this summer. Boggy Point's closed.
I know.
We're
For those of you all not familiar with this area, one of the major boat ramps is Boggy Bottom Point.
Yep.
And it's closed for a while because apparently the piers are about to fall
Yeah.
into the.
We don't have that trouble, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm telling you, if you wanted to see angry people about the boat, go to the boat launches now with
Right.
one of the major ones closed this summer.
Oh,
it's going to be
Cotton Bayou is going to be a booger.
Oh,
and then what'll happen is Lillian and Josephine, all that will fill up. And of course,
Oh, yeah.
as you know, they're talking about putting that new ramp in back on the intercoastal.
But we don't even need to worry about this.
don't
All
have
you
to
got to
worry
do
about
is
it.
call
I know,
us.
all these.
Call my guys. We'll get you on the water, and you don't have to worry about any of that.
All right, I love it. Are we doing any special promos today?
We are, so we always run promos at each of our locations, and
Okay.
they're all different. So right now in the Pensacola, they're running a promo. We are doing $500 off across the board of the initial joining fee.
All right.
So if you call up, any of our locations will have that. Panama City is going to have a boat show special that will probably last for a week or so after that.
Okay.
Rob Gordon's in charge of that. You're always more than welcome to give him a call. But each one of our locations runs different specials at different times. The $500 is across the board right now.
Across the board. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And just in case you're wondering, the closer we get to peak boating season, which is like upon us now, that special will go away. 2 months ago that was $1,000 off. We won't be going down from there.
Yeah, you won't have to.
No,
All
no.
right.
The people will be lined up at that time.
All right, so a couple quick things for people in this area. Give us the different locations. You don't have to give addresses, but
No. So we go from Madisonville, Louisiana,
All right.
Biloxi, Mississippi, Orange Beach, Alabama, Perdido Key, Florida. We have 2 in Pensacola, 1 downtown Pensacola, 1 in Pensacola Beach. We have 1 in Fort Walton. We have 1 in Niceville, Destin area, and 1 in Panama City as well. We are currently looking at another one, which is hopefully to be determined soon,
All right.
shortly.
And the person does not have to be a resident of the state where they're joining the club.
Actually, the funny thing is, about 60% of our members, at least in Orange Beach, live more than an hour away.
All right.
And I will tell you, they come from Atlanta, they come from Tennessee, they come from Birmingham, Montgomery, Jackson, Mississippi, Louisiana, and they're members here because they own a second home or whatever.
Maybe I can get some from Wapapella, Missouri to come down and join up.
It probably wouldn't be the first one, to tell you the truth. We have some people.
Hard to say.
It's crazy. We have people from Minnesota and all over.
Very good. All right, let's do your contact info again, your website and your phone number.
Yep, so the phone number is 850-497-0130. That's 850-497-0130 and freedomgulfcoast.com.
Okay. And they can also find you on Facebook. You guys have great videos on there. I wanted to mention that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's one.
We're trying to follow you, Josh.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the main video is really cool. I mean,
Yeah, come check us out. We spend a lot of money on that, so make sure
believe
we feel like it's worth it.
All right. So anything else you want to add?
Now, I just thank you for having us over here. I really appreciate it.
I wouldn't be here without you. So if you're a regular listener of the show, then you know that we also film our conversation and we release it across multiple social media platforms. If you're watching this video and you'd like to reach out to Russell or myself, just send us a direct message. The kids call it a DM. I'm not quite there yet. I don't know what the difference between a DM and a PM is. Do you?
No, not at all.
I have no idea. Probably one is not kosher and one's okay.
Other than being on the Facebook for our website, that's about it.
Right. I'm learning this. People think that I've got this figured out.
No, you're on it more
I
than
have to
I
ask
am.
my 12-year-old a lot of times, what does that mean?
No doubt.
Right. Lastly, if you're a Baldwin County area entrepreneur or business owner, you like what you've seen today, want you to reach out to us. We love helping spreading the word about local businesses. I want to thank, there's a little thing for you. You can find my contact info have you heard my disclosure?
No.
It's by Mike Romano. He makes it sound awesome, but it's ridiculous,
Right.
as you can imagine.
Right, yeah.
Nothing about what we talked about. Yeah, we didn't say buying a boat was a good investment or
Right,
bad
no.
investment, right?
But you still have to have your
I still
disclaimer.
have to have it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember those days.
Yeah, that's because you have attorneys.
All right. I want to thank our guest, Russell Atkinson of Freedom Boat Club Gulf Coast, for joining us today, as well as all of you out there listening to us. I am Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. This has been Focus on the 5, and you have found us on WABF 1480, located in downtown Fairhope, Alabama. Thank you and have a great day. Goodbye. Thanks, Russell.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Focus on the 5. If you are interested in learning more about Josh Knoll and Gulf Coast Financial Advisors, you can find us at gulfcoastfa.com, call 251-327-2124, email josh.knoll@gulfcoastfa.com, or message us on Facebook. Focus on the 5 is produced by Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. Advisory services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Inc., a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Pro Equities Inc., a registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA and SIPC. Gulf Coast Financial Advisors is independent of Pro Equities Inc. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Focus on the 5 offers commentary and generalized research, not personalized investment advice. Show content is for informational purposes only and does not constitute a complete description of our investment services or performance. All investments involve risk and unless otherwise stated are not guaranteed. Be sure to consult a tax professional before implementing any investment strategy.